Thank God it's Tuesday. We hope everybody has had a wonderful Labor Day on yesterday or a Labor less day on yesterday. You were able to rest and
That was me.
relax and just chill. We are so excited to be here. Y'all know it's Tuesday night, so what does that mean? It's time for Church
Church girl
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 Rants.
Rants.
Yay, yay, yay. So if you
Yes.
are joining us, we want you to go ahead and number one, say hello. And number two, share this with some of your good girlfriends or some of your good guy friends, anybody that you know needs some ministry, some fun, a little bit of all of it put together. My name is Cheryl Thomas. I'm a minister, author, and a best-selling. Oh Lord, I thought I heard something. I'm sorry, and a certified life coach. And I have in the middle here Chrissy, who is our resident author as well. And
Hola,
we
¿cómo
won't say all the
estás?
other titles. And then, because we regular girls on tonight, and then we have Sharon, who is also author, and she helps other authors get their books out and get
Yes.
published. So we are just three church girls that talk about all different kinds of subjects.
Mm.
Hey, Lady Gwen, thanks so much for joining. So
Hi.
we talk about everything, and whether it is church culture, whether it's world culture, whether it's relationships, we are going to talk about it here. If it's happening in the world, we are going to chat about it. And y'all, as
Yes.
the title says, we're going to rant about it. So these are our ideas and opinions. They are not the gospel truth unless we give scripture behind it. Because sometimes we do get deep
Okay.
and we give scriptures behind the word. If you hear scripture, it's the truth. If you
is
just
the
hear me
truth.
say something, it might not be. It might just be how I feel about something
That's funny.
It's where I am at that particular
at that
juncture.
moment.
Exactly.
And so, if you all have joined us during any time, you know we start out with a question of the day.
Mm,
And
mm,
so
mm.
this is our question of the day. And if you are in the audience, we want you to feel free to answer this question as well. Okay, y'all, I'm laughing because I like this question. And I want to see how
Uh-oh.
our panelists
Oh Lord.
feel about this question. Okay, it says, if, okay, would you trust your parents to pick a suitable spouse for you? Why or why not?
I just looked off into the distance.
Right. Look, did you see my look? It's just
Look,
like,
Okay, while y'all are thinking, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. No,
go ahead.
no, ma'am, no, sir. Well, and I'll qualify that because there were a couple of guys that they thought were, oh, he's a nice man, and I was like, okay, he looked older than my daddy.
oh, that part.
I don't plan on marrying my dad. Now I love my daddy with all my heart and everything, but I don't want to marry him. Hey Jessica, thanks for joining.
Right,
So
Jessica?
yeah, they have proven, in my opinion, that Lady Gwen said no. In my opinion,
No.
it would be a big no for me. Yeah, no, no, and no. Did I say no?
Look,
No,
look
sir.
here's my answer. That would be a hard no. Um, but I'm not sure whether my dad's gonna think anybody's ready for me anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the thing.
Okay.
He has, how can I say it, opinions, you
Yeah.
know, that are not always so favorable uh for people that I have dated. So
Mm-hmm.
to trust him to pick someone out for me, yeah, that would be a no. How can I say it? How you say it in Spanish? No. How
No.
you say it in sign language?
No. Oh, this. I'm sorry. How you do it? Do it again. Okay, I have to remember that.
Yes, that's how you say it in sign language. No,
Oh
how you say it in another sign language? Mm-mm.
God. Oh my God.
All right, Chrissy,
No,
how about you?
Well, I don't even like the clothes my parents pick out for themselves, so I don't think I'm gonna like them picking out. I don't think I'm gonna like them.
You gonna make me
oh
I don't
my
think I'm
joke?
gonna let
god,
them pick out. I don't think I'm gonna let them pick out my spouse.
oh my,
So
I'm
I don't
oh
even
my
sorry.
like your
god.
dress.
I look, I'm not even sure what you're wearing right now. So therefore, you cannot pick out a
Right.
spouse for me.
If you
You
can't
can't
pick
even
out an
pick out somebody
outfit,
to call me.
When I have to say, is that what you decided to wear today?
Oh my
There's
god,
no
hilarious.
way. There is
that's
no
hilarious.
way.
Yeah.
No.
And but here's the thing, y'all, and we want, okay, those of you that are watching, we want you all to weigh in on this too. Even if you're married,
Please,
would you have trusted your parents to pick your spouse for us? Let us know in the comments. But here's the thing, my parents have excellent wisdom in just everything.
yeah.
But that right there, I was like, y'all know me.
Mm. Mm-mm.
I'm your,
I
you
be
know
like, do you
me,
know me?
right?
By the time they finish, it's like, do you really know me? Do you do you know anything besides my government name? Do you?
What made you think that that was even a possibility?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, especially the one
Oh
guy
my
was
god.
like,
yeah,
"Daddy, he looks older than you." Like,
that part.
so
That
That's,
I
part.
would not. I would not.
but I must say
Mm.
this though.
Yes, Jessica. Come on, Jessica.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am, Jessica. That's oh, Jessica is my Peter.
She
She's
said
me in Peter.
no. She said H to the no.
oh,
Not at all.
Jessica is my Peter. Yes.
oh my gosh.
Not even close. No.
Can I say this though? I do got
Yes.
something to say though. They have had a good eye
Okay.
on certain people that I brought around.
Okay.
Uh
Mhm.
my mom doesn't do well with her facial expressions. So one gentleman, he was fine as wine,
Hmm.
but she was looking at him like this. She was
she
like
felt
it
that
was a
stuff. She like,
like it
mm-mm.
was a, and I was like, you can't look at people like that. Like, but she was just like, I mean,
Look,
so they've done.
she felt that down in her shanana.
We did, we
Yeah, she
did,
like, I feel it all up in here.
and
Mm-mm.
Right.
That would not be
and
it.
she was right, and she was right.
Mm-mm.
Right,
So,
Jessica, I get you.
Ooh wee.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just like I said, they are so good on so many things, but no, that
That
we gonna
would
we
not.
gonna give that to
Mm,
me and Jesus.
that part.
Me and
Yeah.
Jesus alone.
Yeah. Alone.
Right.
Alone.
Just us, Jesus. We on our own.
Woo.
Okay,
that's funny.
so let's jump into the topic on tonight. We wanted to talk about how to recover from heartbreak,
Yeah.
heartache. Um, Anybody on here has ever had your heart broken? Let me know in the comments. Don't be shy. I'll be the first to lift my hand up.
I
Shattered
got
into
two fingers.
pieces on the ground. Just had to walk away and say, Jesus, fix it.
Yep.
Jesus be a Jesus be a fence.
Right. Say, you see all them pieces, Jesus, pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even find the pieces. I don't even know. You just work it
Yeah.
out. Just work it out.
Yeah.
So,
Total devastation.
yes, total devastation. Didn't know. Thank you, Lady Gwen. Didn't know how I would recover. Um,
Yeah.
didn't know if I would recover. Didn't know when I would recover. Just
Mm-hmm.
like I'm lost. I don't know
Yeah.
what to do. I'm
Yeah.
looking around like I'm supposed to do something after this. Like I'm supposed to go on. Like how is it supposed to? Is this supposed to
Yeah.
get better? Just total devastated, and so I want to know from the panel, and I want all this wisdom that is watching with us on tonight as well. I want you to give us, how did you heal? How did that process start for you? How did you move from that total devastation, that total heartbreak, into healing? Well, bless your heart, Jessica. She has never been heartbroken, but her husband has.
Oh,
All
Jessica,
right.
That's a
bless
That's
blessing.
you, baby.
well, that is a
That's a
blessing.
blessing. That's a blessing because that feel
Hmm.
like H to the no.
That part.
That's what that feels like. So, ladies, how did you
Um,
start? Okay, Sharon.
that's a really loaded question for me.
Mm-hmm. Go
Look,
ahead, girl.
let me see how much I want to divulge.
Just as much as you're comfortable with.
No, but yes, I have definitely been in this area before,
Right.
and here's my hot moment. After I had been through that, and I got to a point, and this is in my younger years,
Right.
um, but
Excuse
after
me.
I got to a point to where I was like, okay, I'm over it. I
Mm-hmm.
flipped the script,
Okay.
and I
Mm,
and I turned into that person. I turned into the
mm,
Oh,
person
okay.
that
Okay.
you're not going to hurt me. I can hurt you. I have the potential to hurt you.
Okay.
And there was some that I did hurt.
Okay.
Um, and so, there are times that you have those moments to where it's just like, okay, I've been hurt and I was doing the right thing. I was
mm-hmm.
there. I
Mm-hmm.
was, committed to the relationship and, in my space and time and things of that nature. Hey, Frida.
Hello.
But yeah, I was there. But then after I got hurt from that, I was just like, let me just say that's not going to happen anymore. And so I kind of, how can I say it?
Mhm.
Allowed myself to learn the game of the man.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
learned the game of the
Game of the
man.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And when I learned the game of the man, that's how I began to flow.
Okay.
Still in a feminine way,
Right.
but that's how I began to flow, which wasn't really good either
Mm-hmm.
because then you have the potential to, hurt someone else,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so that was not something that I wanted to do either.
Right.
But the hurt is devastating.
Yes.
It can be, and
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's your first true commitment,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and this was the first time that I was engaged
Okay.
Okay.
prior to my husband. And so it was definitely devastating, but it was not a relationship that I should have continued in.
Okay.
It
Mm.
was
Okay.
it was a relationship that was not good mentally, not good
Okay.
physically,
Mm-hmm.
not good
Okay.
emotionally. It was just not good. But I was trying to hold on to the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
thinking that, as some of us do, oh, but I can change him. Or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time, I'm strong in my faith. Oh, I could just pray and keep
Right.
praying and believing and have faith in God, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But that it didn't happen that way. And I'll never forget once we broke up, or he basically broke up with me, and he was like, you can give me my ring. And he came over, and okay, I gave him the ring back.
Right.
And that same day, I went right on out to the mall,
Mm-hmm.
went to Zales, and
Mm-hmm.
bought my own ring.
There you go.
So the next time he saw my finger, I had a ring on it.
There you go.
So
Because I
you're not
just
the only
need
one
you to
buys
understand.
rings.
Yeah, I need you to understand that you are not a necessity. You
Mm-hmm.
are
Yeah.
optional.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you're optional. You're not a necessity. And the unfortunate part though is that some of that hurt
Right.
caused me to become cold.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
It caused me to shut
Right.
down
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. And
Mhm.
so that hurt can be devastating. And it does. It takes you a while to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not just about, because a lot of people just replace.
Right. With
They
Yeah.
another
think that
person.
if I just go on to the next person and then that's going to get
That's
me
gonna be
out.
it.
Mhm.
Well, no, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Right.
Yeah.
Come
Right.
on.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you haven't seen what caused the hurt, because there was a
Right.
causation of it, cause and effect. You
Right.
know, whether it's your fault or not, there was a cause.
Yes.
Figure
True.
out what that is. Figure out who you are. Figure out how you can not just snap back, but what did you learn? What did you
Right.
gain from this?
Right.
And we don't always take that time. We
Right.
don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that it's a grief.
Mhm.
It's death. It's the
Yes.
death of a relationship. And so
True.
you
Yeah.
still
It
have to
is.
walk through those steps of grieving. You
Right.
know, that denial, the anger, you know,
Yes.
all of that. You still have to walk through that. And sometimes that's not what we do.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
True.
where I
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Chrissy.
Okay, so for me, I didn't date anybody in high school. I mean, my godbrother took me to the prom.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. By the time I got to college, I liked guys, but I didn't even date then. I guess God was protecting me. It was when I was finishing with in my master's degree program when I
Mhm.
met the first guy who I started liking him, but everybody else saw bad in him, which in the end it kind of worked out. I mean, I was so interested in this guy. I really liked him, and I remember um I just remember us being, just together and off and on. Actually, it was the guy with the yellow suit. It was him with the yellow suit. And I can remember being at this church service so happy, and the prophet, he had me to come up and help him with the offering, and I'm smiling, and the man and everybody had their hands stretched towards the offering. The man stops in the middle of the offering, looks up at me and says, "The God that's in your life right now not gonna be in your life for long." And then he went back to praying over the offering. I was like looking crazy.
Lord bless
I was
this
standing
money
there
note they
looking.
gave the guy that's in your life right now.
I was
God said, stop right now.
listen.
am.
I was standing there looking. I'm like, really, God, right now in the middle. I mean, this stuff. I can't make this stuff up. This is some serious stuff that happens. But to
Mhm.
fast forward it to being married, saving myself for my husband, I thought sure that everything was gonna go well in our
Right.
marriage. We were together for 10 years, married for 6. But I just thought everything was gonna go well. So to hear those words that he didn't want to be married to me any longer,
Right.
that thing hit me like I was totally devastated, because I'm like, wait
Yeah.
a minute. I was
Mhm.
pouring my heart into it. He would say things like, well, you need to get someone else, or it needs to be this. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I want to work on this. I was that type of woman.
Mhm.
That Proverbs 31 woman. I was there. I did everything for my household. I was trying to, building this,
Excuse me.
trying to build this. And
Right.
for him to say that thing, it felt like death, because then
Mhm.
I was totally devastated. I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. And I felt like, literally, I felt like it was the end, because in my mind at that moment, I felt like I was losing my mind. I felt like everything was just completely, okay, I felt like a failure. I just said
Right.
like that. I felt like a failure. And I
Right.
felt like there was no way out. And I was supposed to speak at a youth conference within 5 days of this happening to me.
Wow.
And so I dealt with it, but I just tried to find I was trying to cope. I was trying to
Mhm.
cope. And I literally still preached at that conference. And
Yeah.
God
Right.
used me more than
Got
he
to.
listen, God used me more than he ever did,
Mhm.
because during that moment. But I can remember, I think I got up the next day after that. I went straight to the pawn shop and pawned my wedding ring, the engagement ring.
She said, we gonna get some money off of this.
Because
Right. Right.
if you're telling me that you don't want me,
Right.
I was freeing myself
Right.
Yeah.
of the rings, and
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not waste any time, because that's
Mm-hmm.
all it takes for me. And it's sad that some people, when a person tells them that they don't want them, they try and hold on. But I that's all you gotta do is tell me one time
Mm-hmm.
that you
That's
don't
it.
Right.
want me,
Right.
That's it.
and I took
Good for
it for
you.
all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And but I can say this, over time I was still holding on to stuff that
Okay.
was a part of the marriage. Even when we completely separated, I moved in with my parents for a while, I still had stuff. I was in that bedroom with, he brought the fish tank over and set it up in the bedroom. Now he did that, but I'm like, wait a minute, this was in our bedroom when
Mm-hmm.
we were together. So it was like I would go to bed at night with this memory in my face
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
every single night until all the fish started dying. And when they died, I had to say it's I
God said,
think
I'm
Okay.
just
God was
gonna
giving
kill the
me,
fish. You're gonna
I,
get rid of this tank.
yeah, I mean, every day, listen, every day a fish was dying. Every day a fish was dying. I think God was just saying it's time for you to let it go
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and just be done with it, because he was moving me on. So it took time.
Yeah.
I thought something was wrong with me. I literally for a long time thought that something was wrong with me, that I wasn't worth it. I mean, that I didn't feel worthy. I didn't know what was happening, but it was something strong was being built in me, and I didn't know it. But God was preparing me for something greater. And so we all are gonna find different ways to cope with stuff like that. But I literally was taking one day at a time. I
Yeah.
just had to take one day at a time, because I mean I had lost it all. I didn't have no job. I didn't have nothing, and I think God set it up that way, because I lost the job first,
Mm-hmm.
then drained all of my retirement to take care of us. I was
Wow.
taking care of us, and I drained everything, lost the home, lost everything. It's like everything just started dwindling
Mm-hmm.
completely until I was stripped naked of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it was like God was telling me then, I need you to relinquish control, because you thought you were controlling all, but I'm in
Mm-hmm.
control.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a powerful, powerful story. And Tatiana, I did see your question earlier, and we're going to get to that. So I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring your question, because I'm holding it so that we can all answer it together. And I'll just briefly share my little heartbreak testimony, and then we'll get to the question.
Not the heartbreak
A
testimony.
heartbreak testimony.
Yeah.
And I'm similar to Lady Christie. I didn't date in high school at all.
Mm-mm.
I liked guys all through high school, but I was the chick that if you didn't approach me, we just weren't gonna talk. I had a lot of guy friends that I would
Mm-hmm.
talk
Mm-hmm.
to and hang out with, but as far as like in a relationship,
Yep.
didn't do that in
Me
high
either.
school. In college, I had a couple of boyfriends, but it wasn't anything serious. We weren't like, so it wasn't until
Yeah.
after I graduated and I got in the workforce and working that I started really really entertaining um, boyfriends. I mean, when I say boyfriends, I'm like serious, like because I've
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
never just dated. I've always dated toward marriage. I've never just like let's.
Yeah.
I just feel like hanging out. I wasn't that kind of person, that kind of dater. And so I remember I hadn't dated for a long time, and I it just nobody was interesting to me.
Mm.
And along came this guy like out of nowhere. I didn't ask God to send him. I wasn't looking for him. He just like appeared through a friend. And y'all, I thought I was like, oh Jesus, this the one. It's the one I've been waiting on. The Lord. The Lord has opened up the Red Sea. And look who's coming through. He was an awesome guy. Still is to this day. Um, and we were on like a fast track. We were dating really, really hot and heavy. And I just believed that this was the man that God had sent me. And we were like coasting, talking about
Mm.
marriage, preparing, and all of that. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, there were no arguments, no disagreements, none of that. Just all of a sudden, he just bailed, like out the blue, bailed. Like this is going too fast. I don't know what's going on. And oh Lord, and so I'm thinking, wait a minute. This because yeah, okay, y'all know I'm a little bossy.
I'm bossy. No.
I'm a little bossy. And so, but I had said to the Lord, I was like, okay, I want a man that leads. And
Yeah.
so in this relationship, I said, I'm just going to back up and I'm going to let him control the pace that
Yeah.
we are going in this relationship. And so I was going at his pace. I
Mm.
wasn't setting the pace. And so when he was talking about we going too fast, and I'm like, what the? You driving.
Right. Right.
You driving this
Oh
car.
gosh.
I have not applied any pressure on the gas or nothing. And so it was a total shock. I mean, a total shock. He was getting ready. We'd already met most of my family. Was getting ready to meet my parents, the whole nine.
Oh well.
And so
Wow.
I was like in my room, like weeping, like Jesus, what? But this, and I will say, of all the breakups that I've ever had in my life, this was the first time that I gave God
Mm.
Yeah.
the ownership of healing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before
That's
I'd
good.
been trying, because I'm a fixer, I'd been trying, well, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it better, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And this time I was hurt so bad, I was so
Mm-hmm.
distraught, I was so perplexed that I was like, you know what, God? And we were talking about this briefly before we started the show. I was like, here are all the broken pieces of my heart.
Yeah.
These
Mm-hmm.
are all
Yeah.
the ones that I could find. I know there's some like strewn
Yeah.
everywhere. These are all I
Hmm.
could find. I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know what to say. I
Mm-hmm.
can't fix this myself. And if you don't fix this, this won't be fixed. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I gave him the pieces I could find. And I walked up like, let me know when it's done. Let me know. And little by
Yeah.
little, the Lord just started massaging my heart and started
Yeah.
healing as I gave it to Him. I gave Him ownership of it, and I laid bare before Him. And I decided within myself I was not going to try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
When He started fixing that relationship or that broken heart, He started healing the other broken hearts that never really healed, but that I had
Mm.
just walked away from and just like left them there. Like, if you walk away from it, don't hurt, right?
Right.
There's no wounds,
Yeah.
there's no scarring, no scar tissue there. But when he started healing me from that broken relationship, he started showing me other parts and other relationships that I I hadn't healed from,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wounds that I had just left
Yeah.
but didn't address. And so he started healing my heart from all of the traumas that I had gone through in breakups and relationships. So for me, the thing that God helped me do or showed me that I needed to do to heal was number
Hmm.
one thing is surrender.
Yeah. Yep.
When I
Yes.
surrendered control over the healing portion of it and gave that thing to God, He healed it all. He
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
healed it all. And so that was that was pivotal for me, was just being able to just trust God with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's key.
Yeah, because I didn't before. I'm
That's
just gonna
key.
be honest. All the other times before, I didn't trust him with it. But
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one was just, it was out of my realm to do anything. And so I had to trust God with it.
Yeah.
Trust God with it. Okay, and I want Tatiana, I wanted to get back to your question. I want Chrissy and Sharon to help me answer this. It says, when all of your past relationships are not real, how do you know if the person you are courting is really wanting to be with you? I guess you've never really experienced a real relationship. What do you do? How do you know that this person likes you, is into you? Is this real?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, first of all, Tatiana, thank you for, being so
Mm-hmm.
transparent with your question. I really do appreciate that.
Yes.
Um, but first of all, and I know it may sound a little cliche, but of course, pray about it.
Yeah.
Trust me, he will show you. He will show you red flags, blue flags, white flags,
Exactly.
pink and purple
All the
flags.
flags.
He will show you all the flags. So definitely always, always, always pray about it first. But then also, I'll kind of always go back to what I try to live by. Communication is key.
Yeah.
Yes.
Communication is key.
Absolutely.
You have to talk. If there are conversations that you desire to have so that you can get clarity, so that you can hear truth, and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth, and they don't want to have those conversations, think
Right.
about it,
Yeah.
you know, because if they are really courting you and wanting to be with you, then they're going to share.
Yes.
They're
Yeah,
going to
sure.
have those even those tough conversations.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have those conversations with you. But if you know, it's like, I don't want to talk about that. Oh no, you're asking too much. Oh
Right.
no. Well, what are we doing here? So
Mm-hmm.
get
Yeah.
clarity.
Yeah.
You know, qualify this thing. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are we committed? Are we just hanging out? Or
Yeah.
we working up to something? Are we not working up to anything? Are you just trying to get in my pants? What is it that you're trying to
Yeah.
do? And
What
I
do you
would rather
want?
for you to be honest with me
Yes.
Yeah.
up front than to string me along, because again, we as women are emotional creatures.
Yes.
Exactly.
We are led by our hearts,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so with that, you have to be able to have those tough conversations. And back up just a little bit because I want Cheryl and Chrissy to jump in. But at
Mhm.
the same time, also make sure that you are healed from those past relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are not totally healed from those past relationships, you're just going to keep taking the stuff over to every single relationship. And you just going to see a repeat. It's going to be like a scratch record. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to just see it going on repeat, 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 the same thing. So you have to make sure that you have gone through forgiveness, which is huge.
Yes.
You got to make sure that you know
Mm.
who you are in Christ
Yes.
first, not who man say you are, but
Yes.
who
Yeah.
does God say you
God
are.
say you are.
You have
Absolutely.
to make sure that you understand that, and that you are able to walk in confidence in that. And then
Mm-hmm.
if somebody does come in your life and they, say, well, I don't want the relationship or whatever, you're not beating yourself up because you don't know yourself.
Right.
Sure, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be hurt about it, but
Mm-hmm.
it won't be to the fact to where you go back to having left lack of self-esteem, lack of
Right.
self-confidence. You're questioning who you are, you're questioning everything about you. It won't go back to that. And so I want you to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you have that time to spend with you and God,
Yes.
to make
Yes.
sure that whatever hurts those past relationship produced, that you have walked through that process.
Yep.
So
I love
I'm
it.
gonna stop right there. So
I
y'all
love it.
jump in.
I love it.
Yeah.
Kissy?
Yeah. And just to add, because everything that Sharon was saying was
Awesome.
actually amazing. I'm looking at the first part when it says when all of your past relationships are not real. Well, first off, this is my opinion, but all those relationships were real, whether they were good, bad, or temporary. They were a real relationship when you were in it at the time. It was real. It's just um it wasn't for you. And to move forward, a guy's gonna give you the signs, whether or not he is interested in you or not. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, and one thing about it, if you having to chase him or have to tell him that he's not calling you and why you not answering my phone calls or why you not respond. I mean, if you got to do all these things, well,
Yeah.
maybe, just maybe, those are signs that you are overlooking, because any guy that is interested in you, because by nature, men are hunters. And if he wants something, he's going to pursue it until he gets it. That's just how persistent a man will be in trying to get you and to get your attention. Trust me,
Yeah.
I know. I've had the business cards left at the house on the ground. Come out of church, it's in the window. The same guy. He was persistent.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if a guy wants you, he's going it it's gonna he's gonna make it known. You would never have to worry about that, because he's going to show you all the signs that he wants to be with you. And for me, the ultimate sign is
Hmm.
when a guy wants to take you to meet his family.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling you
Right.
that he has a strong interest in you and ready to take it to the next level. If you have not met his family and it's a few years in, I think you may be in the friend zone and you just don't know it. Like there's just, I mean, it's just things there. Because when a
Yeah.
guy wants to take you to meet his mom, his father, there's something about you that he finds so important, and he's saying she could be the one. Or, he's putting it out there. So
Right.
never avoid the signs, because his actions are gonna be true. His actions are gonna really show you. And but also watch the red flags, and that's what happens a lot of times. We will avoid all of the red flags that are there. I did. I seen some things and I said, okay, well maybe it'll change by the time we get a little further in. But what
Mm-hmm.
I
Hmm.
saw, it got even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was, because sometimes as women we be thinking that we can change the man. As I can get him, I
Mm-hmm.
can change him. But yeah, no, it's not. No, that's not what it's supposed to be. But we I don't know why we think that we can. But in the end, though, if a man really wants you, he's gonna show you. His actions are gonna be there, and a man will give. He's gonna give one woman, at least one woman, his heart. One
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
woman. So, and he's gonna keep it locked, because men work a whole different. Trust me, I got a lot of male friends, so I'm always tuned in when they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening so that I know, because I can tell you through the years, all these women thought that, oh, he likes me, oh, this, and this same guy telling me, nah, she just this, nah, I'm just playing over her. I would hear it. And so, but
Mm-hmm.
she's feeling a certain way, but in his mind, he's not even seeing it like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that's so true. You have to. Bishop used to call it man talk. You have to know how
Yeah.
men talk, how they really converse. My
Absolutely.
thing to you would be this: don't be in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this. I think it might have been a couple of episodes back about how when we, especially for women, when we meet a guy and we're single and we're believing God for marriage, what we say is like, "Oh Lord, is this him? Is he the
Yeah.
one?" And I want every single woman that's listening this, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening to the replay, stop approaching every man as the possible
Thank
one.
you. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's
You go,
good.
what
That's good.
this is what that will help you do. It'll take the pressure off of you from expectations for him to be anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so he's in a whole new category because then you're not trying to win him. He's got to actually win you.
Yeah.
So whoever this man is that you may be dating, stop putting expectations on what it is. Because just like Lady Chrissy said, if he wants you, trust.
He gonna
You will know. He will make it known. So
exactly.
don't go into it with expectations. And number two, give it time. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
revealed in time.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
will know if, because some people can, like I told y'all in my heartbreak story, some people can start out hot and heavy,
Yep.
but can they keep that pace?
Right.
So give it time. 3 months in, 6 months in, a year in, just sit and watch. Is his behavior consistent?
Right.
Yeah.
Is he calling you consistently? Does he want to see you consistently? Does
Mm-hmm.
he want to share time with your family? Does he want to share time with his family? How is
Mm-hmm.
he trying to incorporate you
Yeah.
into his life? Or are
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
just like over it on the side? So all of these are signs
Yeah.
that'll help you know if you really have something that is, happening here or not. But enjoy the journey either way.
Yeah.
You have to wait.
And
Absolutely.
and if he just wants to talk with you or see you maybe one time a week, and I'm talking about like, and y'all supposed to be courting. It could really be that you just the Wednesday chick or the
Oh,
Thursday chick.
Oh
Because
my.
yeah, because some men
she
they
said
got
you
chicks
a
for
day
certain
of the
days.
week.
Yeah. And so if it happened that he only just trying to see you and it's that same day of the week, that's why you got to catch it out. Trust me. I done opened up my mind because I'm figuring it out and I'm seeing it. You could be just that one, that chick for that, guys. Some guys have it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's so many things, and like Sharon said, pray about it too.
Pray.
Ask God to open up discernment, and God will never lead you wrong. Um, there are
Yeah.
men that I just knew instinctively, just from discernment, that I would never even give the time of day because I in my spirit was warning, 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 warning,
Mm.
warning, warning, toxic, toxic. And so I would never even talk to them. So you have to be led by the spirit and not by your heart, not by your desires, not by your flesh. If you want a
Yeah.
man of God that you're gonna live your life with, you gotta cut this flesh off. Yeah, he fine, but he crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Woo.
And I know one of your other questions was about feeling safe after being in an abusive relationship. So you've got
Yeah.
to guard not just your
Mm.
heart, you got to guard your life. And so you have to be even the more careful. So what I want you to do is I want you to look back
Yeah.
in your past and I want you to ask God to show you all the red flags you missed.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lord, in that relationship, when I was in an abusive relationship, how did what red flags were there that I saw but I didn't see or that I didn't want to see, the ones that I looked over? Help me see what those are, so that in every relationship going forward, I can see them. Show them to me beforehand, like, oh, he did this like so and so. He
Yeah.
responds to when I say I'm
Yeah.
going to go somewhere, his eye twitched like brother so and so eye twitched,
Right.
or whatever
Right.
those signs
Yeah.
were that showed you that this was a domineering person. And he may not, and I'm not even just talking about physical abuse, I'm talking about emotional abuse as well. Is this
Mm-hmm.
person controlling? Does he try to control? So be on the lookout for all those red flags. Ask God to reveal those to you so that you can see them
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
protect yourself from them.
Yeah.
Sharon and Chrissy, y'all wanted to respond to that?
Yeah, and I actually did a conference a few years back. It's probably been several now, called Seven Shades of Abuse, and I had
Mm,
a panel of women, and I wanted and it was Seven Shades of Abuse. So we dealt with the physical, those women who were physically abused, sexually abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused. There is also the social ones that were abused, and there was even the one that some women are abused on financially, because if he's holding all the money and you have to go to
wow.
him for everything from getting the allowance or to pay the bills. He's controlling you and manipulating you because he has all the money. So there are so many forms of abuse, and we broke that down. Seven shades of abuse, and all these women gave their stories, but we helped so many women with this conference, and I've been saying I want to do it again, but because it's so important to know that there's more than just the physical abuse, the physical abuse, and the emotion. There's so many. Verbally he can be abusive, because I mean I've been through some of those things. I was never physically abused, but I dealt with the emotional and the verbal, where I felt sometimes lower, I felt a certain way, and because of certain things. And so there's just different forms of abuse, and people need to be aware of that, that there are different forms of abuse, because sometimes we will overlook it, like, again, because we're like, oh, it'll change, but then if it's not changing and you sticking right there, like, how many times does he have to hit you? And then he tells you that he loves you. Don't let him continue to hit you.
Right.
I think I'm and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let it pass on to Sharon. I did a women's conference, and I had men that came in as speakers,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the men come in as speakers. There was a young lady that was there. She was a white lady. She was emotional during the whole conference, and we even prayed over her. She didn't go into details about what she was dealing with at the conference, but she came to get some help. But it was like a week or two later, I was informed that that young lady that sat in my conference, she went back to her husband, and he killed her.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
That thing devastated me, because I was like, well, what more could I have done during that conference that would have prevented her from being killed? Because literally, I was talking to this woman, I prayed with her. She just had been through so much, and she decided to go back to him. And within 2 weeks of being at my conference, he killed her. So it's
Wow.
so important to be aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it is. It is.
Um. Hmm. So, uh, how do I say this? I've been in that space, and where I am today, you would never know
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that I've been in that space. But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of process. Um, I was one that, again, thought that I could just pray it away, and thinking
Mm-hmm.
that, I could it could be fixed, or make excuses to where, well, it wasn't that bad. And, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back, which
Mhm.
was the case. Because
Mm-hmm.
what you're not going to do is hit me
Yeah.
and I'm not going to hit you back. I may not win
Yeah.
the fight,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to know that I was there.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
and so, um, and that was something that was happening, and I had to stop for a moment and look at myself and go, for one, God didn't create you as a punching bag, he created you as a
Exactly.
human.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Number two, that's not how your daddy and your mama raised you, girl.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's not, girl, you belong to Thomas and Barbara Ashford. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
This
Yes.
is not how you were raised. You didn't see
Yes.
your daddy hitting all over your mother and your mother abusing your daddy. What are you doing? And why
Mm-hmm.
do you think that you have to, stay in this? And
Right.
I say to Tatiana, you got to have these conversations with
Yes.
yourself out loud.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not
Yes.
talking to where you are just thinking it, and that not just for Tatiana, but for anybody else. You
Mhm.
got to
Right.
have these conversations out loud and be able to look at yourself in the mirror and says, "Wait a minute, I'm not a punching bag." I
Mhm.
wasn't created as a punching bag. I was created in the image of God.
Amen.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
a
Yes.
Yes.
king's
Yes.
kid. I'm a
Absolutely.
child of the most high God. What in the
Yes.
world do you mean that you're going to take my arms and shake me like I'm a rag doll, or that
Yeah.
you're going to try to punch on me? And I'm to get to that point to where I had to tell myself those ugly truths. Sharon, you can stay in this and you can
Mhm.
continue to allow this to happen, or you can hold up your good Baptist finger and you can get out and give
That's
them the
right.
deuces. Because there
Deuces.
is, I would rather be alone
Peace.
and whole
Yes.
than with
Exactly.
somebody and split in two.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
true.
Because
So
at the
true.
Absolutely.
end of the day, right now, I could tell you, Sharon is whole. She is
Amen.
content. I know who I am in Christ, but it
Yes.
was a process.
Process.
Yes.
If you are being abused, if you are being misused, if you are being taken advantage of, find someone that you can talk to
Yeah.
that can help you
Yes.
get
Yes.
out. Not tomorrow, tonight.
Mhm. Yeah.
Tonight.
Yes.
I
Mhm.
Yes.
know it is scary. It is a place that you don't want to be. But at the end of the day, we don't want to have to come back on this church girl rants
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and know that something has happened to you
Yep.
tonight,
Yes. Yes.
because
Yep.
your life matters. You are
Your
valuable,
life
you are
matters.
worthy, you are a
Yes.
king's kid.
Yes.
When God
So
sent
true.
Jesus down, he came for you.
Mhm.
Take it
Yes.
personally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
He came for you. Forget about the rest of us. He came
He
for
came.
you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you are no less than anybody else. I'm going to stop right there because I'm feeling this thing in my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are no less. And when
Mm-hmm.
you see yourself as such, then any and everybody cannot come in your life. You will not even begin to allow any and everybody. It's been 22 years for me. You think I'm not cute enough to attract some men?
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I am. But any and everybody can approach Sharon like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
That's right.
approach me with nonsense. You can't approach me and be disrespectful. And you definitely can't approach me and think that you're going to abuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look, I've
Right.
already told people I think I will have a good prison ministry.
Oh God.
I
Yeah.
already said Big Bertha is gonna braid my hair, and we're gonna go and have a good prison ministry, and everybody in the prison gonna get saved. So I just thank God that He will not allow me to be in that particular space.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
but you have to remember who you are and whose you are,
Absolutely.
So true.
Absolutely.
because that's so important.
Yes.
Know
Absolutely.
who you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love all of that. I love all of that. I won't even
Yes.
add to it. I won't even add to it. Um, and I did put it
Gosh.
up. She said she stayed single for 8 years
Yeah.
so she could be
Hmm.
valued in her current relationship. And sometimes that's what we have to
Yeah.
do: give ourselves time to
Yeah.
heal
To heal.
from whatever that situation is. Get in some therapy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times when we say, especially in the church, when we say get healed, a lot of times we think, just spin around 12 times and say I'm healed. But to call you up a therapist
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And
say,
talk that thing
I've been
out.
in an abusive relationship. I need you to help me unpack all of
Yes.
this. I need you to help me process everything that I went to. How did I get myself in that
Right.
position? So you need somebody to talk through all of that. And so
Yes.
never be afraid to
Yeah.
seek therapy so that
Yeah.
you have your spiritual healing on one end, then you have your practical healing. These are
Yeah.
steps that I'm going to take so that I don't get myself entangled in that again. These are
Mm-hmm.
patterns that I got to break so that I don't find myself here again. So never
Right.
be
Yes.
afraid of some good therapy.
And let me just
Yeah.
say this, Cheryl. We can see a tree. We can cut that tree down. And we think that we have gotten rid of that tree, but we have not, because the
Mm-mm.
roots are still deep down in the
Yes,
soil.
yes,
Yes.
Until you get to the root, that tree always have the potential to come back.
true.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing for our lives. We got to get to the root of it. And I'm glad that you
Yes.
said therapy,
Mm-hmm.
because of the mere fact that you have to be able to get to the root. And I know that she was asking for a scripture.
Yeah, she was asking for
Yes.
scriptures for
Yep.
patience and strength. Let me pull
Strength.
that
I
up.
just can I just read this one, because Cheryl,
Mm-hmm.
look, you probably got one too.
Oh yeah, I've been looking for her.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
there is this one, and I'm saying this as Church Girl Rants, as a group, as a whole.
Yes.
This
Mm-hmm.
is what we're doing. Colossians 1, starting at verse 9 in the New Living Translation. So we have not stopped praying for you since we first heard about you. We not gonna stop since you done been on this Church Girl Rants.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yes.
not
Yeah.
going to stop. We ask God to give you complete knowledge of His will and to give you spiritual wisdom and understanding. Then the way you live will always honor and please the Lord, and your lives will produce every kind of good fruit. And the while you will grow as you learn to know God better and better. And that's Colossians 1, 9 and 10. So
Love it.
that's
Love it.
what I get.
Yes.
Of it. I found so many. I found so
Yeah.
Yeah.
many, but there were a couple that leaped out to me, and I want to. I'm just going to give you one of them. I know Chrissy may have one as well, but I'm just going to give you this one. It's Psalms 37:7. It says, "Be still before the Lord and wait
Yeah.
patiently for Him. Do not
Yes.
fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes." And a lot of times we become impatient because we see the wicked seemingly prosper. Like that
Yeah.
person that abused you. You see him going on and he seems like nothing happened in his life. He's still prospering. And sometimes we can get mad at God, like, well, God, you let me go through all of that and then you keep doing this for this person. So be patient, because God is the person that gives recompense. He sees
Yeah.
what you are doing. So wherever you are in life, if you're believing God, I know, and I'm going. This is a transparent moment. Some of the guys that I dated that were yeah, whatever. I would get jealous because they would go on and they'd be dating somebody else, or they'd be married and their lives would look a certain way, and I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, hello, Jesus. Hey, what about me over here? But what I didn't know was what I thought was success over there was just a cover up. And so
Yeah.
sometimes things can look a certain way to us because we're looking from the outside. You never know what's going on behind closed doors. So I had to
Yeah.
learn how to take my eyes off of what seemed was success for another person or for somebody I dated that had moved on, and just be patient and say, well, Lord, in your timing, you
Yeah.
will give me what is good for me. You said that
Yes.
no good thing would you withhold from them that walk uprightly. I am walking upright. And so I expect good to come to me. And so just hanging
Exactly.
my hat on that scripture that God is going to give me what's good for me. And if I haven't received it yet, that means it's coming. He's still
Yeah.
preparing
Mm-hmm.
me and he's preparing whoever that man is. So be patient. Don't fret. Don't worry when other people seem to be prospering. You don't know what their situation is. Just hold
Yes.
on to what God is doing in you. Get you healed all the way through and pray for the
Yeah.
man that you're believing for, the man you may be in a relationship now, that God would heal him through and through so that you can really come together and be who God has called you to be as a couple.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes,
Amen.
Chrissy.
Amen.
Yeah.
And just adding scriptures on this one, Second Chronicles 15:7. But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. So that was
Hmm.
like a direct one. It's just saying, be strong and do not give up. And then my favorite one of all time, Philippians 4:13. That this has gotten me through everything from
Yes.
trying to be patient to overcoming hurt, overcoming sickness, whatever it was, is I can do all things through Christ that strengthens
Yes.
me. That is on
Yes.
my wall. If I got a tattoo, that would be the tattoo. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And then this other one is one that I've taken now, Psalms 46:5. God is within me. He's within
Hmm.
me, and I will not fail. And I
Yes.
keep those, and I keep those right there so I can look at them all the time. So when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling like I can give up, I'm feeling like I can't wait no longer, and anxiety trying to kick in, I say those scriptures to myself.
I
And it
love
Yeah.
it.
just gives me that peace that I need because God's timing is not our timing. Key
Absolutely.
thing, God's timing is not our timing, and I
Right.
will rather wait on his timing because
Yes.
his timing will always be better than my timing. And I just preached this yesterday. We sometimes we want the blessings, but we don't want to wait for the blessings. And because we don't want to wait, we end up with premature blessings.
Yes.
Because we
Yes.
and just think about it, when a baby comes prematurely, that usually has some kind of problems or different things,
Yeah.
and the baby has to spend time in the hospital because the blessing came, but it
Mm-hmm.
came too early, and
Right.
it
Right.
and it was premature and it had problems. So don't
Right.
allow your blessings to come too early and
Mm-hmm.
you have problems, and then it throws you off. So just wait, be patient. And one thing I figured out with this is that when God has us waiting,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to purify the outcome.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Key.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. I
And
love
and
it.
and when we're waiting, sometimes, I always go back to the fact that when we're in the wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
there are two instances that I always talk about when you're in the wilderness, and you have a choice of what perspective you're going to take when you're in the
Yeah.
wilderness. You
Yes.
could take the perspective that the wilderness is for punishment,
Mm-hmm.
or you could
Yes.
take the perspective that is for preparation.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you take it from the perspective of punishment, then you're like the children of Israel
Mm-hmm.
when they were in the wilderness. They
Yes.
thought that they were being punished,
Right.
but when Jesus was in the wilderness, he was in there because God was
Yes.
preparing him. He was being prepared for those ministry years that he was going to, be walking among the people, and he was going to be scorned, and he was going to have to suffer and go through death and
Yes.
everything like that. And so you have to make the decision of whether you're going to see your waiting or your wilderness
Mm-hmm.
moments as
Right.
punishment or preparation.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's
I
true.
love that. I
That's
love that
that's
analogy.
that's the
So true.
choice that you have to make. And I know, Tatiana, this is all not for you, and I hope that you share this
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of your friends who may need this. Share this replay
Yes.
with them, and invite them to come on with you next Tuesday. This is the kind of stuff that Church Girl Rants, we love to talk about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
this 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 hypes us up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just want to say again, thank you so much. And everybody who is commenting, because, I saw some other comments. Sister Sheila was saying that we're fearfully and wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a
If we
good
don't
one.
learn anything else, we have to remember who we are, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Sure, I got some rolls on my stomach that I just don't want. Howsoever,
Oh my gosh.
I'm still fearfully and wonderfully
Wonderfully
made
Absolutely.
by
made.
God, and
Absolutely.
we just have to make sure that we remember who we are and that we were made in the image of God.
Yes.
And I see your comment that we don't want to go through the bad, but you can only appreciate and profit from the trials we weather. And you are right.
True.
Yeah.
You know, he said that if we don't suffer with him, we can't do what? We can't
Rain with
reign
him.
with him.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to
Nobody wants
suffer
to go
with him.
through things.
Yeah, we got to go through some
Nobody
stuff.
don't want to go through. But
Yeah,
I'm
but you
telling you,
got
I've
to.
gotten I've gotten strength from just now that I can look back over my life now at 41 and I can look back at 31. I've been
Yeah.
through some things within the last 10 years that I
Mm-hmm.
should have
Hmm.
given up, maybe committed suicide or whatever the case. But I realized that all God was doing was strengthening me for the
Yeah.
journey and for the purpose that He has for me ahead. And when I
Yeah.
keep that mindset, I can stay on this journey to fulfill my purpose and my destiny, no matter what the enemy brings my way, because I already know that God is the one that's allowing it. And He probably even said, have you considered my servant Chrissy? Or
Oh,
have you
absolutely.
considered? So because of that, he knew that he could trust me to go
Right.
Yeah.
through the trial and not to give up and to go astray, but that I'm gonna stay in the paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got to
I'm
stay in
gonna
the
Yeah.
go
paint.
hard in the paint. All right.
Go
All right.
hard in
Come
it.
on in the paint. In the paint now.
Yeah,
Mm.
I said she was stay in the paint. All right.
Stay in the paint. That part.
Oh gosh.
All right, everyone. We
Stay
always,
in it.
always,
Yes.
always enjoy our time with you. And it always seems like our time just runs by and we're at the end of
Yeah.
the program. But thank you all for joining us on tonight. If you have not already shared this with someone, we're going to ask you to do
Hmm.
that right now. While we're on right now, we
Please.
want you to share this with a wonderful woman that
Yeah.
you know that needs this ministry, that needs all of the ministry that's going forth from tonight. We are here
Yeah.
every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. This is season 2. Y'all can't believe we just started this last season, last
I
Yeah.
know.
spring. So this is season 2. And so
Yeah.
we are so
Yeah.
excited about that. Also, if you are not following all of us on social media, we want you to do that. Let me
Yeah.
y'all see I'm looking right, looking like, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. So if you are not following Chrissy, Chrissy is on Instagram at Chrissy Elaine V. So
V.
hit her up, and she is Chrissy Vickers on Facebook. Make
Yeah.
sure that you follow her there. If you want to follow Sharon, she is on Instagram at SL Grant underscore. Sharon L. Grant on Facebook. Make
Yes,
sure
and
that
y'all have to go see me because I just put out my zip lining
I
stuff.
saw you. I saw
Okay.
you. So if you are on Instagram and you want to see Sharon
Yeah.
ziplining, check her out on Instagram. It looks
All
really,
right.
really cool. So
I got
go
I
some
gotta
ahead.
more on the
try that one
motorcycle.
day. I have
Huh?
to try that one day.
I got some stuff on the motorcycle that I'm gonna put out. I was on the motorcycle.
Excuse me.
Motorcycle and zip line. All right. So y'all make sure y'all hit her up on
Go
her
ahead now.
IG. Um, if you are not following me on all my social media channels, I am Cheryl Thomas Speaks on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I am currently on day 7. I'm doing a 30-day Get Your
Mhm.
Life challenge. Y'all, we have been having an amazing time in
Yeah.
the Get Your Life
Awesome.
challenge. I do it on all of these platforms. So wherever you're connected to me, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard for the entire month of September. We are getting our lives
Mhm.
all the way together. And if you want to do that with me, I would appreciate you joining in. So thank you all for joining. We appreciate you. We love you with the love of the Lord. I'm trying to get everybody's comments in. Y'all see me running through them.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
like
know
I
Thank
said,
you,
somebody had said
everyone.
something about being spiritually sensitive to your
I
male
did. I
counterpart.
did. And that's Jessica. Jessica, next week we're going to be talking about
Hmm.
and actually it's a totally different topic. Why being Lord, if I look down and read it, I can tell you because I'm finna jump off now. But why is being single so lonely? But Jessica, hit me up. We'll tackle that question because there were actually two or three questions that we did not get through on tonight. But I'll have all of these comments cataloged, and we'll make sure. That means y'all got to keep watching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all got to keep
But
watching.
invite somebody.
Yes,
Invite others, please.
yes,
Yes.
do that for us. We're really trying to grow this just to be a blessing to church girls globally, so that we
Yeah.
can live the overcoming abundant life that God has for us to live. And so
Hmm.
we love you all with the love of the
Can
Lord.
we do a challenge, Cheryl?
Uh huh.
A challenge for all of our viewers to at least try to invite at least 5 people. They may
Okay.
not show up, but at
But
least if
invite them.
every viewer on tonight, if you guys can invite at least
Yes.
5 people,
I
just
love it.
just share that with them,
Yes.
whether it's on YouTube or Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
tell them
Yes.
that you already vetted us. We're not crazy, and that
Oh,
and that
we're
we're a
just
really good
real.
group of women. But
Right.
I would challenge
We're real.
all of everybody, all the viewers, to at least try to invite 5 people. Invite five
All
people
right.
on
Thank you,
next
Lynetta.
Tuesday.
I appreciate you. She says challenge accepted.
Nice.
Yay,
Okay.
Thank
Lynetta!
you.
All
Thank
right.
Appreciate
you.
Awesome.
you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome
Just
sauce.
5.
You can go
5.
10 if you want, but at least 5. Thank
Yeah.
you all. We love you all with the love of the Lord and pray that you have a wonderful rest of the evening. And we'll
Yes.
look to see you, if not on the challenge tomorrow, we'll see you next Tuesday night. All
Yay.
right.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Sheila.
Oh, I
Challenge
love the
accepted.
challenge accepted.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yes.
I
They
appreciate you
doing it.
all. These are some of my 30-day people. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Love you all. Good night.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Monica.